Welcome to Wisdom Unveiled. This is episode 26 of our 40-part series.
And today, we're doing something a bit special, a real deep dive requested by many listeners.
That's right. We're focusing entirely on the renowned Persian poet Hafez Shirazi, exploring his mystical and philosophical ideas.
Our source material comes from translated discussions featuring Dr. Ebrahim Dinani and Dr. Esmail Mansouri Larijani, primarily from the Maarefat program.
And just a quick note before we jump in. This is based on translations. While we aim for accuracy, some specific nuances or details might not translate perfectly.
Yeah, so we appreciate your understanding if there are any small discrepancies. Your feedback is always welcome, of course.
Definitely. So Hafez, we're going to anchor our discussion today around one of his really evocative ghazals. It starts with the line, Dush didam ke malaik dar mekhane zadand,
which translates roughly to, last night I saw that the angels knocked at the tavern door. A fascinating opening line.
It really is. Okay, let's start right there. Last night I saw, why night? That word feels significant, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Dr. Dinani suggests this isn't about, literal nighttime darkness. It's more symbolic.
Symbolic of what, exactly?
Of an inner kind of seeing. He calls it bini, or riacho. It's like a spiritual perception happening outside of normal time and space.
Okay. So right from the first word, Hafez is pointing us inward. Not a physical event, but an internal experience.
Precisely. It immediately sets the stage for a different kind of understanding. It's a call to look beyond the surface.
And then I saw that the angels, malaik, that's the Arabic plural for angels, right?
Yeah.
How should we understand these angels, drawing from Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani?
Well, they stress the Islamic philosophical viewpoint that angels, malaik, are fundamentally ruhani. Think spiritual beings, non-material.
So not physical creatures with wings in the way we might picture them.
Exactly. They're more like energies or pure consciousness, perhaps. And perceiving them, therefore, requires that same inner spiritual faculty, that bini we just mentioned.
It takes an inner eye to see an inner reality. Makes sense. And it's multiple angels, malaik. Does the night setting make this encounter feel more, profound?
I think so. The quiet, the potential detachment from the everyday world that night offers could create a space more open to this kind of spiritual encounter. It facilitates the inner meeting.
Okay, so we have this inner vision at night, seeing multiple spiritual beings. Then comes the really striking part. They knocked at the tavern door, dar mekhane zadand, angels at a tavern. That feels intentionally provocative.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And highly symbolic. Dr. Dinani offers a powerful interpretation here. The mey, or wine, in this context, isn't literal alcohol.
Right. In mystical poetry, wine often means something else.
Yes. Here, it symbolizes Maarefat, which is like divine knowledge, gnosis, and also mohabbat, which is a deep, profound love.
Divine knowledge and divine love, are they linked?
Inseparably. At this level, according to this view, you can't really have one without the other. True knowledge is loving, and true love understands deeply. It's a blend.
So the angels, these spiritual beings, are seeking this blend of divine knowledge and love. But why seek it at a tavern? What does the mekhane represent?
This is where Hafez creates such a powerful image. The implication, as interpreted by Dr. Dinani, is that this tavern, this source of Maarefat and mohabbat, is somehow connected to humanity.
Connected to humanity? How so?
It suggests that this highest spiritual nourishment isn't found somewhere completely removed, but is accessible through, or perhaps even embodied within, the human experience itself.
Wow, that's unexpected. Angels seeking knowledge and love from a source tied to humans.
It really shifts the perspective, doesn't it? It elevates the potential inherent in the human condition.
It absolutely does. And this leads perfectly into the second verse, right? Gol-e adam be siristan va be Peymaneh zad.
Which translates as, they kneaded the clay of Adam and struck it into a cup, or measure.
Okay, kneaded the clay of Adam. What does this kneading signify?
It's interpreted as happening before Adam's creation on Earth, in a sort of pre-temporal realm. It's about the preparation of humanity's essential nature.
And the angels are involved. They kneaded the clay.
Yes, the verse implies the angels participated in this fundamental act of shaping humanity's potential.
How does that connect back to their search for knowledge and love at the tavern?
Well, think about what they were kneading into the clay. Dr. Dinani connects this to a hadith, a saying, Kamaro enad Adam biatabas. I kneaded the clay of Adam with my two hands.
God kneaded the clay.
Yes, and the two hands are interpreted symbolically as God's Jamal, his beauty, grace, love, and his Jalal, his majesty, power, knowledge. So these divine qualities were infused into the very essence of humanity during this primordial kneading.
But Hafez says the angels needed the clay. Does that contradict the hadith?
Not necessarily in this interpretation. The angels are seen as participating within God's act, like divine artisans carrying out the task, preparing the vessel humanity to hold these very qualities of knowledge and love that they themselves seek.
Okay, so they're agents in preparing Adam to be this vessel, and then struck it into a cup measure. Vabe bi Peymaneh zad. What's the Peymaneh?
The Peymaneh, the cup or measure, is seen as representing human existence itself, our being, our histi.
So the very essence of Adam, infused with potential for divine love and knowledge, was poured into the vessel of human existence.
Exactly. And the implication is staggering. The very Maarefat and mohabbat the angels were seeking at the tavern door is contained within this human cup.
So the angels need to look towards humanity to find what they're seeking.
That's the implication. It suggests a unique spiritual station for humanity. It challenges the simple hierarchy.
Is this idea found elsewhere, angels learning from humans?
Yes, it resonates with the concept of the Insan-e, the perfected human being. Dr. Dinani points to traditions suggesting angels, even Gabriel, learned certain praises of God, like Tajalli, there is no God but Allah, and Tasbih, glory be to Allah, from the prophets, particularly Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Which links back beautifully to another line sometimes associated with Hafez, Darse dam freshta kavand, the angel sought the lesson of Adam.
Precisely. It underscores humanity's potential role as a teacher, even to celestial beings, in this mystical framework.
Just these two verses open up such a universe of thought. Maybe we can zoom out slightly. How central is the belief in angels within Islam generally?
It's fundamental. Amrani Malaika, belief in angels, is one of the core tenets of faith, mentioned right alongside belief in God, his messengers, and his books in the Quran.
And you mentioned their role as intermediaries, Wasayat. Can you expand on that?
Sure. They are seen as crucial links between the purely divine realm, the Alam-e-Pak, and our material world, the Alam-e-Kak. They transmit grace, carry out divine commands, and are part of the essential structure of reality.
Dr. Larijani also brought up that Quranic dialogue, where the angels question God about creating a Khalifa, a vice-chadrant on earth. Why did they question that?
It's a key passage. Dr. Dinani explains their question. Will you place one there who will cause corruption and shed blood? Wasn't really a challenge to God's wisdom.
So what was their concern?
The concern stemmed from the phrase filat on the earth. It was about the implications of placing this new creation, humanity, within the material realm.
Because materiality implies
Conflict, struggle, decay.
Yeah.
The angels, being purely spiritual, understood humanity's potential spiritual core, but they also foresaw the potential for tazad, opposition, conflict, and kunrazi, bloodshed, that comes with existence in the alami unur, the world of elements, things alien to their own nature.
So it was about the potential downsides of the human condition when mixed with earthliness.
Exactly. And this dialogue, it's understood, isn't happening in everyday language. It's in the zaban-e-takwin, the language of creation, of being itself. It expresses inherent natures and consequences, not like a legal debate.
Understanding this background really helps frame some of the big themes in Hafez, doesn't it? We've hit on inner sight already. What about the heart? That comes up a lot.
Oh, absolutely. The heart, Del as a mirror, Edna, is central in Sufism and in Hafez. The idea is that our inner self, man, can perceive God's beauty, his jamal, reflected in the heart.
And this isn't the physical heart-pumping blood, obviously.
No, it's the core of our being, our inner reality, our wujud. And it finds its most perfect expression in the Insan-e, the perfected human.
But for most of us, that mirror isn't perfectly clear, is it?
That's the challenge. It needs paksizi, purification. It needs to be cleansed from gairiat, seeing things as separate from God, duality, and from zangar, the rust or tarnish of ego, attachments, distractions.
Like polishing a mirror so it reflects truly. I think everyone can relate to needing to clear away that inner rust.
Definitely, because only a purified heart can reflect the divine light without distortion.
And when the mirror is clear, what happens? What is revealed?
That's where the concept of Tadio comes in, divine manifestation, the unveiling of God, the hidden reality to the seeker.
So God isn't distant, just veiled.
Exactly. Hafez uses images like dawn breaking, sorrow lifting, finding the water of life. It's about the hidden becoming manifest within our experience through inner work. God is potentially present, waiting to be perceived.
This sounds like a different way of knowing God than just, say, through logic or scripture alone.
It is. It emphasizes the Erfani path mystical knowledge, Maarefat. It prioritizes direct experience, presence, hoser. The goal is to purify the intellect itself from the ego's grip, to see directly with the chashame hoser, the eye of presence.
Does this Tajalli mean God is in everything? How does it relate to transcendence and immanence?
It beautifully bridges them. God remains transcendent, beyond comprehension, but Tajalli highlights his immanence, his presence within creation. Like the sun, it's distant and transcendent, but its rays, its light and warmth, are immanent, present here. Tajalli is like perceiving those rays.
And Hafez seems to suggest we all have the potential to perceive this, right? This capacity within us.
Yes, that's the concept of isti'dad, capacity, readiness, receptivity. Think of vessel. Divine grace, like rain, falls everywhere. But how much is received, it depends on the vessel's size and openness.
And humanity, especially the perfected human, has a particularly large vessel.
An immense isti'dad, yes. A vast capacity to receive and reflect divine qualities. This links to another idea, the zakat of beauty.
Zakat of beauty. Like charity.
In a sense, it suggests God's inherent generosity, his need to manifest his own beauty and goodness. Beauty naturally overflows. It's part of God's nature to create and reveal himself.
But we don't just sit back and wait for it. Hafez emphasizes effort too, doesn't he?
Crucially, realizing this potential isn't passive. It requires jud, effort, kushesh, striving, sabra, patience, stikupamant, steadfastness, and ifat, purity, self-restraint.
It's an active path.
Very much so. He talks about that high aspiration, focused, spiritual resolve, and the importance of things like prayer at dawn, anfaz, sesahar, those quiet hours being potent times for connection and receiving grace.
So it's this constant interplay. Divine grace is always available, but we need to actively work on ourselves, purify our hearts, expand our capacity, and strive towards that connection.
That captures it beautifully. It's a path of transformation driven by that divine love and knowledge the angels themselves were seeking.
This has been fascinating, just unpacking these first couple of verses with the insights from Dr. Dinani and Dr. Larijani reveals so much depth in Hafez. For everyone listening, maybe take a moment to reflect. What about your own inner vision? How clearly are you seeing beyond the surface?
Yeah, and is your heart, that inner mirror, polished? What would it mean for you to clear away some of that rust we talked about?
Think about your own isti'dad, your capacity for grace. Are you actively cultivating it? It seems Hafez is pointing towards an inner transformation, fueled by love and knowledge, not just going through motions.
And perhaps, as a final thought to carry with you, how actively are you working to open your own tavern door? Are you creating space within yourself for that transformative knowledge and love that Hafez speaks of, the kind that truly elevates our understanding of everything?
A powerful question to ponder. Thank you for joining us on Wisdom Unveiled for this focused look at Hafez. We hope it's giving you some rich food for thought.
And once again, our thanks for your understanding regarding the translation aspect. Some subtleties are always a challenge to convey perfectly.
Indeed. It's been a real pleasure exploring this today.
Likewise. Until our next deep dive, farewell.